You may hear people refer to Hyperdocs as a doc or a slide with a bunch of links in it. And while it is that, there is so much intentionality and purpose behind a true Hyperdoc lesson. Hyperdocs allow you to design the lesson to let students explore rather than sit and get. They're engaging and interactive. They're self-paced, personal for the student, and you can practice gradual release where the students may be starting by just getting engaged with the topic, and by the end they're sharing and collaborating and creating, and you can incorporate a lot of different tools into one Hyperdoc. This is a basic Hyperdoc template. I want you to notice that as students get started with the lesson, they're first being engaged, and there's a little prompt here on what that could entail. So students are gaining understanding, they're gaining knowledge, and they're setting up expectation for the lesson or the unit. So they might explore by going to a link or watching a video, reviewing a website, and to get engaged, they might be just looking at a picture or seeing a quote, maybe even a video here as well. The explain, this is the teaching part. Students might be doing this through a video or a link, or it could even be in person with the teacher sharing information. So notice this first part, we're gaining knowledge, we're getting interested in the topic. What I love is how you're gradually releasing this information to the students. So then we move into where they're creating, sharing, collaborating, and reflecting. So when students are applying the learning, you can see here it says create an assignment for students to reply what they know using different tools to collaborate and connect beyond the classroom. One of my favorites to use here is Zoom, where maybe they're video conferencing with somebody else. They might be using something like Adobe Spark to create a quick video showing what they know. They might be making a Google slide or a site, or using Screencast-O-Matic or Screencast-ify to voice over their learning in one of these. So this is where students are creating their learning. The next step is to share. So students should be providing feedback and have a platform to share their work outside of just the teacher for their audience. A great tool for this would be maybe a Flipgrid where they get on and share what they've learned. Maybe students are just putting their links to their different creations into a Padlet wall or a collaborative Google Slides where other students can see and leave feedback. And then giving those feedback stems allows that portion to go really deep. And then lastly is the reflection portion, which I feel like this gets left off of so many lessons due to time, but this option is awesome. One of my favorite ways, and you can see the reflection icon here, one of my favorite ways for students to reflect is in their ePortfolio. So students could upload their work, they could reflect using depth and complexity icons or question stems or just what they learned, whether it was through the struggle or through something they did really well. You could also have them reflect in a Google Doc or even just by reflecting with a neighbor, but somehow reflecting on what was learned from the lesson. There are a bunch of different templates out there. I will say a lot of these templates are so great and things are already started for you, which is amazing. Some of the tools used in the templates may not be current. They might be things you pay for. So I would stick to maybe some of those tools that we know are tried and true and trustworthy and that are easy for our students to navigate and share and leave feedback on. And you'll notice every template looks a lot different. You'll also see some board game templates, and I want to point out here that Hyperdocs are a great way to provide some extension activities. So with all the different levels in your class, you might have some students that make it through the whole game board and they're working on bonus activities, and then you might have some that just finished the lesson, and that's okay too. We're differentiating.